Two Wheels is proudly sponsored by CIT, your one-stop motorcycle shop. Time for product testing here on Two Wheels, and this time around the product are tyres, the big black round things. And is it a bit of a black art to have the perfect tyre? Well, looking at MotoGP nowadays, you would think so. This is a newcomer into this part of the market, Maxxis Tyres. That's what we're testing here today. Now, Maxxis Tyres are well known for their road tyres and for their off-road tyres, but they've come out with a softer compound, different construction tyre, which is suitable for track use as well. Track schools have become all the rage in South Africa, and the guys are always looking for different tyres to try out on those track schools. So I thought, what the hell, let's come along with the ZX10, try out the brand new Maxxis Road Stroke Race rubber. Is it a black art? Let's find out. We're at the Kyalami International Grand Prix circuit in Midrand, and my thanks to the bosses at Kyalami for letting us onto their track. Nowadays, one of the busiest road race tracks in the world. When you first climb aboard a motorcycle and set off around a racetrack, your very first impressions are of the riding position, the general balance of the bike, and of course engine performance. After that, you begin to take in the performance of the suspension and the brakes and the overall feel of the motorcycle. All these senses rush at you in an overload situation. And those first few laps are often blurred in your memory as you adjust your riding style and attitude to suit the limits of the machine. Strangely, the very first thing you normally come to grips with, and excuse the pun, are the tyres, or the tyre performance to be more precise. The performance of those tyres has the single biggest influence on a motorcycle's handling and the overall performance of that bike. A good tyre offers excellent grip without loading up the suspension too much. It also offers feedback to the rider in terms of warning before it loses adhesion and soaks up some of the ripples and bumps on the circuit. Kyalami has a couple of ripples on entry to some of the curves, especially on the original old section of the track at Clubhouse, Sunset and the S's. Now, the Maxxis tyres have excellent sidewall technology and soak up those ripples as good as any tyre I've ridden on, especially around the Kyalami circuit. The grip is also good and will match any road tyre available today in the market as far as I'm concerned. And in fact, I wish these tyres had been fitted to the ZX10 which we rode in our recent Superbike shootout. The Maxxis 190 rear and 120 front tyres have turned this ZX10 from a very nervous and average handling machine into a real contender in those Superbike stakes. It has actually transformed this motorcycle, especially into Clubhouse Bend for instance, over those ripples. And it's all about confidence when you ride around a racetrack, let's face it. The Kyalami circuit is always a good test of man and machine, and I must say the track is once again well maintained and looking up to world standards. There was that period when the track was looking rather dilapidated and there was no maintenance at all going on at the famous Kyalami circuit. So well done to Dennis Popper and his team of workers here at Kyalami. The national status races are attracting crowds once again, and you can see why. The track is looking excellent and well maintained, and a perfect place for testing Maxxis tyres and the Kawasaki ZX10. And I've got to say, it's thrilling to ride on these tyres around this track, and for a Superbike school rider, I would say the ideal sort of tyre. So let's chat to Mark Dodgen, who imports the Maxxis range of tyres. Well, I've got to tell you, having a lot of fun around the track here with the Maxxis tyres on the ZX10, and it improves the handling of the ZX10 really a great deal. ZX10 is standard trim with standard tyres around Kyalami. You really do feel the bumps, especially going to Clubhouse Bend. Now on the Maxxis, it feels like you're almost floating into the corner. And I've got Mark Dodgen with me from Maxxis Tyres, the importers here, Mark, in South Africa. And now that you've got this track tyre, it puts you into a different kind of market to you in before. Before, Maxxis Tyres was off-road or road, and not really this type of tyre we've got today.
Yes, Dave, it does. We've noticed in the last few years a trend towards track day riding. And we've never had a tyre in that market. This brings us into that league.
And much more replacement, I guess, because you go out to a track day, you wear the tyre out so much quicker than you would, for instance, riding around on the road.
Well, the top guys are changing them every meeting or day that they ride.
And the feel of the tyre, I mean, Maxxis must have told you all about it, but I've got to say the feel is quite good. It feels as good as any sort of track tyre that I've used up to now. Their feedback to you?
Extensive testing in America. A lot of racing has gone into the tyre. And yeah, brilliant, aggressive, street riding and track riding.
Mark, thanks for letting us ride the bike with the tyres on. Just a quick one about the price of the tyres, because that's all important nowadays in this market.
Around the 1,000 Rand of front retail, 1,500 Rand rear.
Well, thanks, Mark, and I've got to say that is a bit of a bargain when it comes down to road stroke race tyres. 2,500 Rand for a set, available at your nearest dealer right now. Maxxis Tyres are distributed throughout Southern Africa. And at that price range, I think they could be a contender on track days, especially at Kyalami. And just to let you know, in the rear we have 1,9 bars of pressure, and in the front tyre 2,1 bars of pressure. And that seems to be the best setup for this Kawasaki ZX10 with the Maxxis Tyres. What's that about staying on two wheels?